All right. Canucks lose 5-2 to the Oilers. Obviously not the ideal game, but it was entertaining at least. Let's go through our game here. Let's see if this works. While you're here, hit subscribe, hit like. We're doing post game recaps all season. Of course, this one's not as hype as yesterday's was, but a tough loss. But we'll get some wins. It'll be fun to stick around. Basically, we had Demko versus Koskinen. Mike Smith wasn't even on the bench for this one, so they had Stewart someone. I don't remember what his name was, but he was the emergency backup, so Koskinen had again. Oilers still wearing those god-awful outfits. We had John and John for this one, at least. John Shorthouse, John Garrett in the booth, but there was like a 4-second delay on the commentary audio, so kind of a terrible experience all around. Right off the bat, a minute into the game, Zach Cassian, Connor McDavid, absolutely robbed by Demko sliding to his left, and it looked like, oh, Demko's here to play. Obviously, it didn't go as well. 13:36 to go in the first. Tyler Motte hooks a player on the forecheck, takes a bad penalty. On the ensuing power play, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins scores 7:59 into the first period. Draisaitl took a shot off the post, it looked like. Nugent-Hopkins jumps on the rebound. Pretty easy tuck for him. 10 minutes into the period, Pedersen got got hooked, by Kyler Yamamoto. Yamamoto's name has come up a lot over the last 2 days. Canucks go to the power play, but they don't get anything done there. Only one shot on goal. It just didn't look great. Cassian, 4 minutes to go in the first period. Zach Cassian takes a holding penalty on Tanner Pearson, just a bad penalty to take. Held him for no reason. Canucks again do nothing on the power play. Notice the pattern. This is kind of the story of this game. And then 2.5 seconds left in the first period. Whistle goes, face off to Demko's left. Sort of a scramble off the draw. The shot from the point got blocked, and then McDavid jumps on the rebound, buries it for his first of many on the night. My initial reaction was that the clock might have started late, and they showed the replay, and I was like, yeah, that was, regardless, it was less than 2.5 seconds. So just sort of lazy defensively. You see 2.5 seconds on the clock, you think, all right, let's get the face off, let's get out of here. Edmonton didn't think that way. They went in, they got a goal. So 2-0 after 1. A minute into the second period, Hughes and Brock Besser get in a 2-on-1. They get like 3 good chances. Koskinen stops them all, of course. 16 and a half to go in the second period. Nate Schmidt from the point takes a low shot. There's like 4 people in front of the net. Puck gets through, goes 5-hole on Koskinen. He didn't even see it. 2-1, so we're back to a 1-goal game. Things are looking up for the boys. 2 minutes later, Nugent-Hopkins comes in. Oh, I'm supposed to show Nate Schmidt from Alex Edler. There you go. 2 minutes later, Nugent-Hopkins gets it through Demko's legs with a quick little shot from sort of the bottom of the circle on the right-hand side. Gets through Demko's legs, hits the post. So a lucky break for the Canucks. Great shift there from Edmonton's top line. They were great all night. 12 minutes to go in the second period. Tyler Motte called on a slash, his second penalty of the game. So Canucks go to the power play. This was... Edmonton drops the puck back to Connor McDavid. Now, people have complained about the Canucks doing the drop pass forever, right? And then Connor McDavid shows why the drop pass is of a real strategy. A viable strategy is the word I was looking for. As he just takes the puck, he's like, all right, see ya. He just skates past everybody, skates into the slot, like just there's nothing anyone can do. He rips it past Demko. 3-1 for Edmonton on the power play there. Again, only about 2 minutes later, Travis Hamonic with a shot from the point. It actually was more of a slap pass. It was going way wide. It was right on the tape of Tyler Motte. He tips that over the shoulder of Koskinen, making it 3-2. So again, Canucks answer just down by 1. A minute later or so, 8.5 minutes to go in the second period, Darnell Nurse takes a slashing penalty on Jay Beagle, just in the corner. Kind of a silly penalty to take. Canucks go back to the power play. And then a minute and a half into the power play, a minute 15 into the power play or so, Nugent-Hopkins gets a bit of a hit on Brock Besser that Quinn Hughes clearly didn't like. Hughes goes after him with the cross-check, breaks his stick over Nugent-Hopkins, like right around here in sort of the midsection. So Hughes gets a penalty, cross-checking, ending the power play there. 5 minutes to go in the second period. Connor McDavid, all alone in front, just beats Demko. Hat trick for Connor McDavid. Look, Demko made a great save here. He makes a stop, barely stretches out to make the save, and then the puck's just sitting 6 inches from the goal line. McDavid's never going to miss that. Just reaches over, taps it in. Just no help for Demko in this one. 3:28 to go in the second period. Gaudette has a wide open net, a perfect chance, and McDavid, with a very smart play, just sort of grabs Gaudette's arm, doesn't let him score. McDavid obviously takes a penalty for that, but you'll take that penalty over allowing a goal any day, especially when the Canucks power play was doing what it was doing tonight. So Pettersson had a great chance on his power play, actually. He ripped one right off the crossbar, but obviously crossbar doesn't count. Minute to go in the second period. Yamamoto tries to make a play and ends up running over Thatcher Demko, takes a goalie interference penalty. So Canucks have a power play going into the third. Again, nothing doing on that power play. We noticed in the third period, Quinn Hughes and Nate Schmidt out together. Obviously Travis Green trying to get some offense going. The issue there is, of course, if they're out for half of the third period, that's half the third period that neither of them are out. So it gets a little more tough to score on those times. 13:11 to go. Höglander takes a holding penalty on Darnell Nurse. So the Canucks go to penalty kill. I know it's about 10 minutes to go. Obviously, nothing happens on that power play. Gaudette's getting some ice time in the last 10 minutes or so with Pettersson and Brock. So Jake Virtanen got thrown back to the fourth line, like in the second period. Gaudette getting a shot. Motte had a bit of a shot as well. Just trying to spark the offense. Didn't work. 8:18 to go. Höglander with sort of a bad giveaway to Nugent Hopkins. Can't clear the zone. Ends up tipping a pass into the far side of the net to make it 5-2 for Edmonton. Right there from Kyle Yamamoto. Again, Yamamoto with, in my opinion, a great 2 games against Vancouver. And that would do it. 5-2 for Edmonton was the final score. So some of my thoughts on the game. The Canucks really missed JT Miller. They had Tyler Motte filling on the second power play. You had Virtanen being basically useless on the first line. You had Motte not being able to do anything on the first line. Gaudette filling on the first line. They had a couple chances, but again, it's not JT Miller. Jake, like I mentioned, got sent down to the fourth line in this one. Demko was fine. Obviously let in 5 goals, so you would have liked him to steal you a couple, but Connor McDavid just took over this game. And this is sort of my theory is, like, why doesn't McDavid do this every game? He's so good that I feel like he could just choose to score 4 goals a night. Like, he could get 200 goals in a season if he just chose to, in my opinion, but obviously not, otherwise he would. Olli Olivia was okay again. He wasn't super noticeable. He had a couple shifts, a couple of offensive chances in the third, but again, I didn't think he had a terrible game. He got turnstiled a little bit, but it was, Draisaitl who turnstiled him, so one of the best players in the NHL. Story of this game was the power play. I think Edmonton went 2 for 4 on the power play. Canucks went 0 for 5. Again, you score on 2 of those, and it's a tighter game. You're pulling the goalie at the end and trying to pop one in to tie it up. Just the stats. Obviously, face-offs, who cares, are pretty close. Power play's pretty close. Edmonton out-hits the Canucks 36-23. That doesn't really matter a ton. Shots on goal, though, 46 for Edmonton to 39 for Vancouver. Edmonton was at 30 shots with 9 minutes to go in the second period. So basically halfway through the game, Edmonton was on pace for 60 shots, and then they sort of shut it down in the third period when they had a big lead. So, obviously a tough game here. We got our game pucks, though. Since this is Parker's Pucks, I give him my game pucks every game. For the Canucks, there was no one that really stood out to me. I feel like no one really was super deserving of a game puck. I'm giving it to Quinn Hughes because I think he was fine, and he didn't really make any mistakes, and he's just a smart player. He's just really fun to watch again, so that's sort of my only reason for giving it to him. Edmonton, guess who this is? Connor McDavid. Just an unreal game for McDavid. He took over. He chose to win this game. So McDavid gets the game puck for the Edmonton Oilers. Canucks' next game is against Calgary. Saturday night, Hockey Night in Canada, 7 o'clock Pacific, even though it's in Calgary because they're trying to space it out between the 4 o'clock game on the East Coast. Calgary played against Winnipeg today. They blew a lead to Winnipeg. Winnipeg tied it up at 3. Had a great chance to win it when it was 3-3 with about 3 minutes to go in the third. Lots of threes there. Markstrom sort of sliding across, glove save on the other direction. So kept it at 3-3. saved a point for Calgary, but Winnipeg went on to score in overtime. So another 3-point game in the North Division. Again, you don't want to see 3-point games when you're not involved in them, but Canucks will play Calgary. Obviously, these are wrong because I took the screenshot a while ago. So Canucks are 1-1. Calgary is 0-1. So that'll be the game Saturday night, which means our next post-game recap will be Saturday night. Like I mentioned, leave your thoughts on the game in the comments below. Last night we had some great reception. I think we had like 60-something likes, so it was really fun to hang out with you guys. So like the video, hit subscribe, and we'll see you on Saturday.